Hey, it's the normal playing guy, and hey, guess what? There is a ton of content coming out. New units, easy A's in particular. Hell, there's a super easy A in this. Pretty bonkers. I mean, there's more content here than what you'd normally find. Well, more units here than what you'd normally find in a anniversary. We've just come off the slugs. We've just not long come off the new Saiyan Saga units. And now we've already entered the Heroes and Crossover Easy 8. Hey, Bojack's Easy 8 is in the middle of this. But these four here, these five here even, are going to be the new shiny units. Today we'll be focusing on the new Hero Superclass. We have the Warriors in black, and then we also have the Blue Goku, who is the Universe Tree Power Absorbed. Let's start with him. The main issue with these units is largely, I mean, they can be very, very good, but they have to be with a respective heroes and crossover people. Now, how good they are determines how well they can be used outside of those teams. But anyway, heroes, Kamehameha, or Power Beyond, which is I really like. 3 key, 170% with the additional for crossover. What I really like about this, it's essentially 200% for heroes and crossover, but also Power Beyond works well with both of them because you've got the Super Saiyan 4s that can add into this, right? So we have an entrance animation, that's brilliant. You get defensive buff of 200%. And an additional super attack 4 turns for when you enter, and that's irrespective. Super attack appears to 30% buff, 30% chance to crit. Okay. Normally we come in with 2 key 150% to stats, 150% to on attack to attacking when attacking, and then you have this nice defensive buff for the first few turns, which is really nice. On top of which, 40% with each attack performed. Bear in mind that you'll have an additional super attack which will count, then you have your initial one, and then you may even have some. So let's work it out, but this could build up quite quick. We have an additional attack, 70% chance to super, and you change key spheres to STR when there are 3 or more crossover allies on the team, or 1 ally who includes Xeno on the team. So Xeno, that would imply then there is going to be a new unit with the words Xeno. Interesting. So there's your additional. But again, you factor in there's an additional and he's an orb changer. But you got to have crossover allies, right? Additional 50% attack for the rest of the battle. 70% chance to guard with 3 or more key spheres. Now, I think this will be 3 or more type key spheres. So that's nice. If it's rainbow, then that'll be really good. An additional 100% attack for the rest of the battle, and guaranteed guard with 5 or more key spheres obtained. Okay, so great. This probably is going to count rainbows, which is huge. 5 is good. You know when teams, units have 6 or 7 orbs, that is a little difficult because, again, 7 is... It's not impossible, but there's a huge amount of difference between 5 and 6. Never mind 7. And 5 is good. If you do get 7, you do get 150% attack. But that's not for the rest of the battle. I do like this. For the rest of the battle period, 50%. 70% chance to guard. And then you can come back for this at some point in time. Right? You guarantee guard. If that's pretty good. Additional 40% damage reduction when guard is activated. Okay, he's pretty busted, right? This is insane. What I'm reading here is pretty gnarly because we have 150%. You'll rapidly build up. He has an extra 200% defense, which applies to this. You have several attacks. This is the only thing that you'll be missing. And I'll be honest, if you're going to say to me the only thing you're missing is essentially another super attack and an orb change, you sacrifice 1 super attack and an orb change to get all of this, is pretty good. So you want to aim for 5. because with 5 orbs you get guaranteed guard and 40% damage reduction whilst having a defensive buff for the first few turns and being able to build up. This will only take 2 rotations because you have an additional attack put in here. So that's really good. You get plenty of attack. I mean, this will automatically apply, but it'll be the guard will be overridden with this. Bear in mind, you're also raising this. You're getting 30% per super attack, but also your attacking but that's what I mean. Your stats are going to go up. His attack in particular is going to go up huge amounts, which is absolutely bonkers. He has an active skill, activated when there is an ally whose name includes Xeno in the same turn or starting from the 5th turn of battle. I'm sorry, not one of these is called Xeno, so this is just a prelude to what comes out next. It is pretty insane. Anyway, 5th turn from the battle is currently what we have. Massively raised attack. It's a 100% raise to the buff. Defense 30% to himself, and all attacks become crits. So you actually get a small amount of defensive buff, huge amount of attack. Seriously, 55%. What are his stats? 11,500 attack. Maybe. I feel like that's low. I don't know. Potentially that's okay, because we are going to be getting a lot of attack for all of this. So he is going to be hitting close to 10 million. Pending links and supports, he could actually be hitting 10 million quite easily. And honestly, he's good because he doesn't need strictly heroes or crossover, and even his active skill, which does not need any of them. Yeah, Xeno attacking in the same turn would be good, but unless you know what that means. Do you know what it would mean, Xeno? I am going to imagine it's on the crossover category. You've got Xeno Trunks, Xeno Pan, Xeno Super Saiyan 4s. It is entirely possible that that is going to be a thing. If it is essentially time traveling Trunks and the time traveling Super Saiyan 4s and time traveling Pan, that is what it means by Xeno. But outside of that, you don't strictly need him, and he's going to be huge. His guard, his extra defensive buffs, his start of to be able to clear things in the first 4 turns or have that extra ability is going to be really nice. His guard will be activated before you even attack, so long as you're getting 5 orbs. So we're coming in with Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Shocking Speed, Warrior Gods. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen that. Godly Power, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle. Plenty of key links here. Tons of key links. So just these 2. But also, where is it? No, okay. Now, it must be the other one. But yeah, coming in with these 2 key links is pretty nice. Plenty of attack. Now, seriously, this dude is going to be hitting ridiculous. Obviously, heroes, crossover, you're looking really good. Time travelers, there's going to be huge amounts there. Power Beyond, he's a legitimate lead. Turtle, Kamehameha, Pure Say, all of this. Realm of Gods, all of this. He is going to be huge. Because of Warrior Gods and some Godly Power key links, obviously he's going to work well with these. Interesting how there's a Super Saiyan 4 in here, but it's literally the key links that are putting them in place. Who do we have? Legitimately, this unit is good. Offensively, he's pretty good. The STR, I reckon, in this unit is perhaps better defensive. He builds up defense better and actually has some damage reduction put in. And he's Super STR, so that could be pretty good. Speaking of Super STR for Realm of Gods for Battlefield, Kaioken Goku. Speaking of as well, Super STR for Battlefield, another Easy A God Goku. Could be pretty good. What teams do you share on this? Quite a lot. You legitimately could run Turtle School Goku Family as well with this unit, not necessarily just Realm of Gods. But yes, this is all round pretty good. There is the Ultra Instincts, like you got the Beast, who just dodges everything. You've got the Wannabe, right? I swear to God, he's just absolute asinine. Xeno Trunks is also quite recently good. This unit is still pretty good now with their Easy A. I'd imagine this unit's going to be broken in the 10th anniversary. But like a lot of units here are going to be huge, and the team is going to benefit from this guy. Kamehameha, Power Beyond, so that's like Realm of Gods, you know. It's just immeasurable what they could do here. Anyway, moving on. We have Warrior in Black, Super Saiyan. Brilliant. So, yeah, let's have a read about him. Super Saiyans, 130%. Okay. So he's a great sub-lead. It will be enough to take you through regular Super Battle Road. That's not terrible. So, 2 key 150% stats. What are we looking at? We're looking at comparable attack. Pound for pound, start of turn, that's comparable attack. Outside of start of turn stats, this is comparable. Defense, ooh, okay. Okay, this is, I mean, comparing this guy. Ooh, yeah, no, this is not good. I mean, the guy's got guard, but what's guard and damage reduction going to do when your defensive stats are a little on the poor side? I mean, I know he builds up, but this, I feel like, I mean, this is the last heroes we're ever going to get, and this is how they're going to be treated. Alright, well, let's have a look. Maybe they can change my mind. The problem with that is, when you've got these low values, you just know you're going to get 500% this, 400% this, 800% this, because they have to in order to compensate. Sounds good saying all that, but it's just irrelevant. 2 key 150%. Okay, let's see. 30% chance to crit built in. Okay. 100% to stats on attack. That's nice because it's on attack. So slot 2 is the way to go so far. Additional 150% attack alone, and another 30% chance to crit if the enemy is 70% HP or less. Okay. Plus an additional 150% attack and another 30% chance to crit if the enemy is under 40% health. So he becomes more powerful and basically has guaranteed crits to finish off the enemy. He's an executioner. An additional 50% attack, guaranteed additional super attack when the enemy is in attack down, defensive down, stunned or sealed. Greatly raised attack, so that's a 50% buff, lowers attack and defense. So an additional super procs that effect. You get the additional super attack just by doing it. So essentially it's a guaranteed additional super attack where applicable. But these two, I mean, in some difficult content this is not a thing, but in most difficult content now it's one or the other. So you are probably, for the most part, guaranteed an additional super attack, which gives you this. So that's nice. Makes the enemy hit less, right? Why not? Why not? 40% damage reduction, I like. And another 15% before attacking an enemy who's 70% HP or less. And then another when they're 40% or less. 100% to stats, guaranteed super attack for the rest of the battle after delivering the final blow. He is the executioner. If the enemy is under 70%, they get bonus crit, attack and defense. But I'll be honest, you might as well have just slapped this in one. Right? This is before attacking an enemy. You might as well have just said you get 150% to stats, you get 40% damage reduction, 150% attack, 30% crit, and you get 40% damage reduction for the enemies less. You might as well just combine it together, basically, is what I'm saying. This is stupid. What's the point in giving us all of this? Great, he gets virtually infinite crits and gets stronger as the enemy's weaker. Get it. But he also becomes tankier. Sorry, at this point he has 55%, then he's touching 70%. We're talking 70% damage reduction with a near infinite crit. And then of course, as he is the executioner, this. Do you know how powerful that's going to be? That's insane. That is insane. because the chances are you may actually finish in a person, and then you get this. You get an additional super attack and double your stats after the final blow. And he's going to be doing it essentially in himself. Dude's going to be like 3 or 4 super attacks in a go. What I like about this is there is no mention of crossover, heroes, Xeno, you name it. So he's going to be good in all the relevant teams. This, I feel like this is going to be a dark horse. He's going to be good in the right hands. Am I going to see him in Extreme Super Battle Road? Maybe as a floater. Because until you finish somebody off and get that, probably not going to work too well. Because you could put him in slot 3 and you could strategically do it so he can tank, right? The enemy's under a certain amount of HP. I get it. Are you going to see him in Red Zone? No, I don't see him in Red Zone. Red Zone's typically against one person. Now, I know you can lower their attack and defense in some respects, but all you're going to get is extra attack and an extra super attack, which based off these stats is not going to get you some. By the end of the mission, when you are low on health, well, the enemy's low on health, this will work. Perhaps if it was also your health that was under a certain amount, and then he becomes tanky as well, that would have made him better. But I feel like this is going to be a situational use, and his make or break is this, literally. Anyway, same warrior race, Super Saiyan, experienced fighters, same lineage, plenty of attack powers. There's a key link in here, so that's good. And another one for Saiyan lineage. Good on basically all of these. In particular, Super Saiyans is probably, and well, Goku family and Pure Saiyans is probably one of the better ones he has. If you're going to run him on Time Travelers, there's probably better options. Same with Dragon Ball Seekers, there's probably better options. Who he can work well with is a good mix. It's the same lineage and experienced fighters, which is probably giving you a nice mix because you've got Super Saiyans, you've got Xeno, which is going to be, Xeno. So this is, as I was saying before, what is going to trigger with the other Blue Goku. Then you've got other regular Super Saiyans, but it's because you've got experienced fighters, same with these guys. And you've got the anniversary units coming in, because it's got experienced fighters, and again, the Saiyans. So it's a nice mix of people. You'll be able to use them quite nicely, but I feel like it's highly situational. So the coup de grace, how do you build these units? Well, this guy, how do you build him? You could theoretically say additional, because you get your build up, but you also just extra stats on this, which is nice. He has crits built in, right? Does he not? Am I wrong? No, I might be wrong. No, it's attack that he gets. He gets plenty of attack. So you could go crits, because he's going to build up an insane amount of attack. Sorry. That with that, you could have a blend in. There is no dodge on this guy, so it wouldn't hurt to put a little bit in, right? Because he has guard and damage reduction for the most part, and it's not going to be too bad for you to get 5 key orbs. So probably most additional and crit with a little bit of dodge probably be a good well balance for this unit. There isn't something that sticks out. Crits will be good for his outright damage, and additionals just because you maximise the amount here, which is fine. This guy, he has crits put in, and you're going to be critting more often than not, so that's fine. You could argue additionals, because additionals, I mean, you greatly lower attack and defense. Any additionals would continue to get you an additional 1. Every super attack would get you an additional 15% buff on top of it. You could have dodge put in, because he doesn't, and he's not the best thought out unit in the world. His damage reduction, while it can be up to an impressive 70%, is not strictly that impressive with a low amount of stats. So again, depending on what his health is, blah blah blah, depending on his defensive and offensive capabilities, you probably want to go for additionals and dodge with no crit. little to no crit at all if possible. Maximise the additionals to get the 50% buff. But dodge, because again, if you're going to put him in slot 3 for like Super Battle Road against multiple opponents, chances are you'll have damage reduction against, because one of the enemies are there, but the other enemy won't have damage reduction. And I'm not too sure if that's going to proc, so you could get hit hard against one of them. And so it would help to have a bit of a dodge. Anyway, that's how you would build them, ideally. But feel free to go for yourself. Now, am I saying you need to summon for these 2 units? Well, truth be told, they're okay. They're good. Would you? Well, for us global players, and well, to be fair now, no, it's all joint. Everything's all the same now. For all players, 10th anniversary is coming up. We've not long just recovered from the worldwide celebration. The 10th anniversary is going to have way more hype units than this. Yes, there'll be dozens of stones, hundreds, if not thousands of stones between now and during the anniversary, granted. Potentially you could have about 1,000 stones now, if you've saved up all of them. More if you've bought. Look, I'm not saying not to summon, I'm not saying how to summon, but there are better units coming around. This will appear same time next year. There might be no units, sure, but that's not to say the Diner is not going to come into play. And these units will always come back. Just because Heroes won't release any more units doesn't mean they won't come back. So, with that in mind, feel free to summon. If this guy's going to help you, then sorry, go for it. If this guy's going to help you, if any of these are going to help you, or if any of these are going to help you, go for it. I believe this banner, where you can do your discounted summons, you're guaranteed a featured for 30 stones 3 times. Chances are you can pick out, I mean, chances you look, but you could definitely pick out a few of these, which you could definitely walk away with and can be handy. So there we go. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I've been the normal playing guy, and I expect these to come out tomorrow, November 12th. It's currently the 11th, fairly late. So yes, these will come out in mere hours, 5 AM. So they come out in 7 hours. Wow. You know, funny thing is I'll be up at work way before that, so I will already be waiting. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you all on the next video. Thank you and bye bye.